Welcome to Media Bites. This is Random Rob. Whiteout was a 2009 thriller set in Antarctica starring Kate Beckinsale and Tom Skerritt. It was based on a graphic novel of the same name by Greg Rucka and Steve Lieber, and directed by Dominic Sena, who also directed the popular crime thrillers Swordfish and Gone in 60 Seconds. It got a rather poor critical reception, and uncredited reshoots by Stuart Bayard and Len Weissman seem to indicate the film had some problems. I was drawn to this film because I have a personal fondness for stories set in Antarctica, and after watching the film a few times, I had a strong feeling that the film was misunderstood, that Whiteout was in fact a Western. Beckinsale's Carrie Stetko is a federal marshal stationed at an American research base that is getting ready to close its doors for the 6-month winter layover. A body is sighted by a reconnaissance plane and found to be a murdered geologist from a nearby base. The first murder ever in Antarctica. With the window for departure rapidly closing and a fierce storm moving in, Stetko tries to solve the crime and locate the killer. Beckinsale, usually an action film actress, brings a wounded humanity to Stetko, who suffers from a near-death trauma that has left her unsure whether she can effectively dispense justice. It's a familiar Western theme, and I have to credit Beckinsale for playing the part with an understated tenderness that gives Stetko the kind of depth that one would expect in a film by someone like Clint Eastwood. And I loved it, but it probably went hard against audience expectations of her and an action director like Sena. If you enjoy neo-Western thrillers with actors playing against type, like Copland with Sylvester Stallone, I would recommend you give Whiteout a look. It is, even as a failure, a fascinating mix of elements, and has probably the best Arctic storm sequence committed to film. I'd like to discuss some of the specific plot points of the film that showcase the film's Western themes, so if you don't want any spoilers, please shut off the video now. Whiteout begins in the 1950s, with the crew of a Russian military plane murdering each other in a fierce gunfight over a mysterious cargo of metal cylinders. The cylinders would make one think they contain radioactive material, but it turns out to be raw diamonds. Which makes the murders make sense. No one would be killing each other over uranium to sell on the black market in the 50s. The diamonds are a treasure that men would kill for, like lost gold. Stetko is a marshal who's done her service and is ready to walk away. She could leave the investigation to someone else, but her sense of duty and her past won't let her. This is typical Western black and white morality. The marshal does the right thing. There's no real choice. She's aided by her friend and mentor, the base doctor, John Fury, played by Tom Skerritt, who at one point has to amputate 2 of Stetko's fingers that have been frostbitten to the point of gangrene after losing her glove during a particularly harrowing outdoor chase sequence. Here again is Western iconography, the friend doctor who has to amputate and hobble their best friend. In any other film this could be a cheap scare sequence, but instead it is played by Beckinsale and Skerritt with remarkable empathy and sadness, trying to smile in the midst of tragedy, and is very touching. She ultimately discovers Fury is the ringleader of a group of men who've discovered the diamonds and mean to smuggle them back to the US. In the final scene, he is unable to kill her to complete his plan, and rather than be jailed, he walks out into the sub-zero storm to meet his end. It is an unusual, perhaps awkward, way to climax the film, but at the same time gives humanity to his character, and doesn't fall into the predictable double-cross ending of many genre thrillers. He really does care about her, and the scene validates it. There are a lot of good scenes in this film, and the depiction of the Antarctic is probably one of the most realistic ever put on film. It definitely makes you understand why they use rope handholds to move between buildings. I liked Whiteout a lot. It's strong enough in the way it plays against type with its characters and narrative that I can easily forgive its simplistic plot because, like great westerns, the story is really about making sacrifices in service of doing the right thing, and is played with earnest warmth by the leads. It is my favorite Kate Beckinsale performance. If you enjoyed what you heard, please like this video and add Media Bites to your YouTube subscriptions, and feel free to leave any questions or comments in the field provided. See you next time.